Okay, today we're going to be working on one of my Polaris RZR XPs. We got a couple of things going on. Um, this is my previous one. I had a Rocks and Trails XP 1000, and I recently upgraded to a Turbo R. I've got it in the shop right now, having service. I got the service agreement with it, so they do all the service, and it had a couple of warranty things that need to be done to it. The right tail light wasn't working, and it had a drip coming from the transmission, and they tell me I need a new seal, and they had to order that. So they're working on that at the moment, but usually once they're out of warranty or whatever, I do all my own service on them. And so this one I bought from my son because I got tired of him. I mean, you can see what this one looks like, and I've straightened it up and cleaned it up a little bit before I bought it in the shop, but you can see what it looks like. Speakers are hanging. One of the rock kickers is off. The one that goes on this side, it just filthy. I mean, that's the way he takes care of his stuff. So instead of him using my good ones that I take care of, I mean, that one is a little dirty, but it's raining, so I haven't had a chance to wash it, but I'll wash it soon. I usually have mine looking spotless and like new, and his usually looks like 100 times worse than that one looks over there. So, but you can see how dirty it is. But it's got a couple of things that needed to. I tried to charge the battery wouldn't charge. I put an AGM battery in there. Somebody recommended AGM batteries. That thing, I've already traded it in on a new one. I just went to Wal-Mart and got an Everstart 26. I read up. People say they work good. I've had good luck with Everstart batteries, so I'm going to put that Everstart battery in there for $69. The last one I bought was close to $200 in AGM, and it didn't last but a year. So, and we kept it on the battery tender and all, and it didn't last. I got it off Amazon, I think. I think you can buy them locally too, but I bought it off Amazon. It was cheaper to buy it on Amazon and have it shipped than it was to buy it, but that battery was junk. So I recommend an Everstart battery. I've had good luck with them. I put them in some of my vehicles. Normally, if it's my heavy equipment or something like that, I use the commercial batteries from Napa. But I like these Everstart. I put them in a lot of my personal vehicles, like my used vehicles, and I'm gonna put this one in this one, and I'll report back later how it holds up. But I'm gonna put a battery disconnect on this one as well, so we can actually disconnect the battery when we're not using it. And that way the battery doesn't get run down. I've started doing that on all my equipment, and I haven't had any more battery problems since I started doing that. When it's parked, and sometimes these things sit here parked for a couple of months without us riding them, and with all the extra stuff he has on this, with all these speakers, and there's always some kind of draw on this one, so I'm going to put a battery disconnect on it. Probably do it on my other ones eventually, but I'll wait till they need it. But I'm going to do that. This one also has a flat. I'm going to fix this flat today, and just so happens I can see the nail right there. I don't know if you can see that's almost the same color as the tire. Somewhere we got ran over a nail, so I'm going to fix that flat before his tire goes bad. They've been sitting like that for 3 months, I think. I'm going to try to clean these up, take them both off, sand them down, repaint them. I don't know if we'll get to that today. Today I'm just going to try to get the battery in it and get the flat fixed and get it running, and then we'll work on straightening up. You can see this one that hasn't come off, but you can see those bolts down there are really rusted. I don't know if I can get those off there or not. We'll try to get, I don't know the angle of that one, if you can even get a impact wrench on there. Maybe with an extension we can get it in there. See if we can get them off with an impact wrench. I don't know if there's a bolt. Yeah, there's 3 bolts on it, looks like. I'll need to get one out to at least go find, because I don't know where the bolts are to this thing, so I think we'll have to go find 3 more bolts that match that. Well, you can see where they go. There's one there, and one up there behind the door. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Today I'm probably only going to put the battery in, hook up the disconnect, and fix this flat. And then the rest of the stuff we'll work on as we go. I don't even know how you can see anything out of that windshield. It looks like it might even be scratched. I don't know if you got kids. I mean, my son's grown now, but that's still how he took after his mom and not his daddy. And this is how they, whatever he gets done with something, that's where it sits, and it sits just like he left it when he got done. So me, I like to clean mine up and make it look clean and new. Even my lawnmower, you can see over there. I let the neighbor borrow it, and this is what he brought it back. To me, that's dirty. I mean, it's cleaner. You can see how clean it looks because I keep it clean usually. And I think he ran into some mud bringing it back over here. But anyway, we're going to work on this Polaris 1000, XP 1000, put the battery in, and try to straighten that mess out as much as I can. I might disconnect a bunch of that stuff. We're not using those speakers right now anyway. Disconnect that amp, because that's probably what's drawing down the battery, that amp, sitting there connected all the time. So I don't know if I'll hook all that back up or not for now. But we'll get this thing, battery in here, get this flat fixed, and we'll go from there. So that's what we're going to be doing today. And there's my daughter's dog, Remy. I think I've explained this before, but I have out here where I bought this land to be able to shop on and park all my equipment and machinery and all that. And their house came with it. Needed a lot of work, but we remodeled it and fixed it up. You can see that house across there. And my son was living in it, but he's moved to Huntsville with his job, his wife's job. And so my daughter's living in there now. So anyway, well, let's get to work on this and get this battery in, then I'll fix that flat and fill that tire up, and we'll see if we can get it running and take it for a spin. It hadn't even been cranked in months, so I can't even remember when the last time. It's been sitting here with a flat for 6 months probably. So let's get to work on it. I think it needs new bearings too. It's something else I probably need to put in it. I'll probably put bearings in it at some point. But for now, we just want to get it up and running and get the battery disconnect on it, and then we'll slowly work on the other things, and I'll probably record those too. I mean, there's all kind of videos on YouTube about how to do any of this, but I'll record it and put it up, and people that want to see it, it'll be there. So anyway, let's get to work. Okay, I'm trying to get this thing up here where we can see. I think you can see it right there. It kind of works out pretty good. I think you can see what I'm doing, and you can see the mess here. Just trying to decide, like, it'll be better to put the battery in there in that direction. I got this kind of tied out of the way where the other battery didn't have a handle on it, and just trying to get that battery out of there was a headache because there was no handle on the battery itself, and you couldn't get your hands down in there to grip it, and it was too heavy to just pull it out real easy. So it was a mess just getting that out of there. So I'm going to try to figure out where I'm going to put this battery disconnect. You can't really come through there because of that. I might be able to just mount it right here. I don't think there's anything back there. I think I could screw it to that right there. Look at the mess in here. Good Lord. Let me get a vacuum and see if we can vacuum this thing out and clean it out a little. He'd never do it, so it's going to get done. I'm going to have to do it. Okay, it's going to be a little loud here for a minute. I don't know how many of y'all have kids that just don't take care of stuff, but I got one for sure. Love him with all my heart. Wouldn't take $1 million, wouldn't take anything for him, but sometimes I want to strangle the kid. Okay, I'm finally going to try to get to work here. My phone keeps ringing. And where I was going a minute ago about my daughter living here, that's her dog, Remy. I think I've told you about Remy before, but Remy's a good little dude. He likes me for whatever reason. And me and Remy are like, when I'm here, he wants to be right under my feet doing everything I do. So Remy's a interesting little character. All right, I got my part. Let's get this cleaned up a little bit first. That's the first thing I'm going to do is vacuum this out. It's probably going to be a little noisy. Not perfectly clean, but at least it's not full of dirt and trash now. You can kind of get an idea of what you're doing. But I don't know if anybody else has children and they take care of their stuff the way mine do or not. But like I said, I love them to death, but maybe because they didn't pay for it. That's probably the... But I don't know. I remember when I was a kid, I was so happy my daddy bought me something. I took good care of it. I always kept my vehicles well maintained and all that because I was happy to have it because I knew I wasn't getting another one. So, all right, let me get my battery disconnected and see if we can figure out some way. I would have liked to got a different kind, but I went to Walmart and I just was gonna get everything at Walmart that I got because I bought the battery there, and this is the only battery disconnect they had there. So, if you can see that, this is what I got. Maybe I can bolt it right there. Maybe that'll work. Just don't see how. Maybe I can just lay it in there. Don't necessarily have to bolt in. I guess I could cable tie it down here somehow where you can just reach down. Be nice just to put some screws in and have it bolted right there to the floor. I might try to find some screws that'll go in there that are long enough to screw into that. Do it just like that. Let's see if I can find some. I'm gonna pause you guys and I'll set some, making y'all watch and listen to everything I do. Okay, let me show you what I've done here. I put an extension on here to the negative. I'm just going to go ahead and leave everything hooked up that was hooked up. Looks like I need a little more electrical tape right there. And I'm going to bring the disconnect over here, and I'm going to screw it down right there into the bottom of that. I don't like having it there because you do have to pull the seat out to turn it on and off, but maybe I'll look for a different spot later. But that'll at least get us. We don't ride it a lot, so when we do ride it, we'll turn it on. When we're not riding it, we'll turn it off. I just taped all this negative up. This is the negative, so even if it bumps something, it's not gonna, I guess it would. If it hit the positive, it would be a problem, but I'm gonna try to put it down over there out of the way. Maybe I can get it back over here in a minute, but so I got that ready to go. I got it already connected to both sides of my disconnect here, and we'll screw that down to the floor there. I found some screws that are just right, and we'll screw that down there. I'm gonna hook everything up before I screw this down, just to make sure I got enough room. I got this wired back where it would stay out of the way when I was trying to get that battery out. Let's pull that loose. See what would be. This would probably work best if I could get that down. Maybe I can cable tie that down right there out of the way, and that way it can't accidentally get over there and bump anything. And that will reach there. And then this needs to come over here and go right there. And I'm gonna try to tighten this up. I don't know what kind of bolt he's got on there. Such a mess. I'd like to clean it up, but it's just going to be a whole lot of work with all these extra wires. And so I think from now I'm just going to hook it up like it is and make the best of it. I do see right there that we can cut that a little bit where I can get it to pull over and cover that. Because that's not going to cover anything right there. And I want to cover that up. Okay, let me show you what I've done here. I put an extension from my original negative, taped that up real good just so it doesn't bump anything. And I brought that over to my disconnect, and then I've got another one coming out here that will go to the negative. And then I'm going to screw this down in the bottom. I'd love to put it outside, honestly. Maybe it would work right there. Of course, that's not going to reach now. I guess I could turn it around and it would reach right there. Would sure be better so you don't have to take the seat out every time. Maybe even it's going to get stepped on probably right there, though. Maybe we could try it right there. I'm going to put it all together and then we can kind of figure out where we can. Mounting it down there in the bottom is perfect. However, the problem with that is if we brought it out right here, now that might work. I could turn the battery around the other way. Okay, I think I forgot to start this back. I flipped the battery around. I don't know how much I got. I flipped the battery around because I want to put this out from under the seat so I don't have to take the seat out to turn it on and off. I've connected my positive over here. I had to flip the battery around to make it work where I could take this outside, and it works fine. I think that's okay right there. I don't think that's going to hit anything. I think it's lower than. I might have to cut that plastic out right there so that will set down. So I may do that before it's over, but let's get it tightened up and just make sure it's all going to work first, and then we'll figure out how to package it better. Okay, I don't know if this is going to work or not, but this battery has a little thing that sticks up, and I guess it's to protect something from getting right down there on the battery terminal. But let's see if I can cut it with this. Probably right in the way. You probably can't see anything. I think this is going to cut it. Let's get this up here where you can see it. You can see we got power there. If we reach down here and turn this back to off, now no power. That's what we want. Turn it on. We got power. You have to put your foot on the brake or it won't crank, but let's just. All right, we got that done. Our next job is we want to just, yeah, there's plenty of room there. Nothing's tight or nothing's grinding on anything. Actually, I guess I could have put that down in there and we could have reached right there and turned it on. Well, I'm gonna leave it where it's at for now. I think it's okay there. We may move that later. Because I really think you can stick your hand right there and grab it and turn it. If I can put it back there. But we'll leave it there for right now. Let's work on this tire. Got to get that nail out. I got a patch for it. And then we'll put some air in it. Okay, I got this tire repair kit here. Normally it has some glue in there with it. This one doesn't have any. So I don't know. I've used these quite a bit on a lot of vehicles. I've got some I put in 10 years ago. They're still holding on my old vehicles. So these things work if you've never used it. They do work. And I'll show you how I do them. Again, usually they have some glue with them. I don't see any glue with this one. And it doesn't say anything about a glue. It just says pull the nail or the screw, clean the hole out, put the insert in there, pull it out and cut off the stub. So let's try it and see what we get. See if I can get the nail out of there. I didn't want to pull it out until I was preparing it because I didn't want to lose where the go. It is. You can see that screw. That's what was in the tire. Microphone, but I don't know how good I did it. All right, let's try to patch this thing. Sometimes it's a little hard to push this thing through a tire, but since this one was all the way through, it shouldn't be that hard. The first thing you do is you take this little rasp tool and you kind of rough that up. Since that was a screw, it's probably already roughed up. Just put it in there and a few times, and it kind of roughs the edges of the hole up. And these are expensive tires, so I hope you always want to patch them if you can. Not have to replace them. And you notice this tool, I don't know if you can see that, but it has a gap there. And when you push this down in and pull it back out, it'll pull out of there from the tightness of the tire, and it hangs in there. Usually this is pretty easy to get on, but it's not today. Maybe it's because I have these gloves on. I usually get this started in there and then try to grab it with a pair of pliers and pull it on through. Just gonna mash the end a little bit. See if it'll slide on in there. Once you get it in there, you can grab it with the pliers. There we go. I just about got it. You can see there. Sticking to these gloves, so and grab it on this side. See if we can pull it on through now. There we go. I think we got it now. Just pull it about halfway, like that. And usually the glue You turn it up. Usually the glue helps you to get it in there. Now we want to get it in there. See if I can get. I'm not convinced that's going to hold, but maybe it will. Once it gets that air pressure behind it. All right, well, we'll try it and see what we get. If it doesn't hold, we got plenty, we can do it again. All right. Let's pause this a minute and go get some air. Okay, let's get some air in it and we'll see what we get here. If we're getting any leak. I don't see anything. I think we got it. Those things work. My only question is that I pull it back through far enough that it's going to stay in there. That's my only concern. I would have liked to pull it about halfway back out, but it came off before that. So see what we'll do. Wipe the dirt off. We'll stick that right there. We'll know it's the next one up from that. That way, just so I won't have a hard. I shouldn't have a hard time finding it, but you never know. Better safe than sorry. And I'm gonna pull it up there and fill it up with air, but I'm gonna call this a fix. And other than taking one of those bolts out over there, that's all I'm gonna do today. Again, I'm probably gonna show you these. This thing laid out there in the dirt for 6 months, but I'm gonna clean this up, sand it down, repaint it, put it back on. If the other one's not too hard to get off, I'll do the same thing with it. So that's the next project. We'll try to tighten these speakers up that are just dangling around, or either that or take them off for now. But that's kind of my next part of this project. Let's see what this is. This is the tool kit. I think I'm gonna call this a wrap. Again, we fixed the flat, put a battery disconnector on the battery, and the next thing I'm gonna do is work on those, I think they call those rock sliders. Basically, it just keeps you from catching rocks on the side of your machine and tearing it up. Instead, you'll scratch that or bend that up. And then I think the bearings, a couple of the bearings are bad. I'm gonna change all the bearings. When my kit comes in, I'm gonna do a full service on it, change the oil, change the spark plugs, change the air filter. I don't know when the last time it was done. So we'll just do all that, make sure everything's in good order, and clean this thing up. It's still a nice machine. I think it has about 3,000 miles on it. That's all it has on it. So of course it's 3,000 riding around the yard, and you know, this one hadn't had some of the tough riding that we don't take it on trips. I usually just had it here for the kids around the yard and out on the hunting land, and it's just logging road. So this one hadn't been ridden as rough as some of the other ones. So it ought to be in pretty good shape, other than just needs cleaning up and needs some regular maintenance to it. But anyway, thanks for watching today, and I'll try to record when we do the rest of it. We'll see you.